Hi, Mark. Here it's 7:43 Eastern Time, which is 11:43 GMT. US session about to get underway in about 15 minutes, getting ready for the afternoon portion of the European session. And a way slower start today than yesterday. Yesterday, following the weekend, fundamental news regarding US-China trade talks. The markets were volatile from the get-go. Strong US dollar, strong equity markets, strong oil. Gold was the one that gave up its gains yesterday, and Bitcoin also had a sell-off day. Today, a little bit different pattern. You can see that starting on the US dollar index, not much activity. I had drawn in this descending trend line, which yesterday buyers took it just slightly above this descending trend line, hanging around there right now. So resistance still at 101.84. And if I zoom in on the hourly, you can see what's happened is a stall, slight retracement at the resistance level, and that has led to, on the hourly, 101.31 being the support for now, the new intraday support. Sellers will look to break below that descending trend line and below the support. That would be selling off the US dollar, a reversal, a retracement from yesterday's strong run, whereas buyers will look to bounce up off this area and come up and test the 101.82 resistance. Let's have a look at the S&P. Also, strong day yesterday. Lots of demand on all the major equity markets. Today, hang around that resistance on the S&P at 5,865. Support sitting at 5,742. We're still a good hour and a half away from Wall Street opening, but for now, sitting pretty flat. If I zoom into the hourly, there you can see a slight pullback from resistance. I've put in this ascending trend line on the hourly, so far maintaining above the ascending trend line, higher lows, not yet higher highs. Let's see buyers, if there is demand again, and buyers will test resistance at 5,864, or if sellers will break below this ascending trend line or bounce down off the resistance. Let's have a look at gold, which, as I say, was sold off yesterday, got the brunt of yesterday's good news. But buyers have stepped in all the way. We've seen that. If you look all through this year, every time there's a pullback or retracement, buyers do step in. And let's see if the same happens today. There's yesterday's big sell off. And today, buyers starting on the front foot with an open of 3,235, already gone higher, now sitting at 3,254. Interesting though, if you have a look, going back to the middle of April, we haven't had a close below today's open. There, the wicks, every time it's tried the support, has held up 3,233, and today again bounced up off this level and hasn't traded lower. Let's see if buyers can get up to yesterday's open, 3,289, maybe even the 3,300 level, which is starting to look pivotal. Sellers, of course, will look to break below this area here between 3,206 and 3,235. Let's have a look at oil. Which has been strong rebound on oil. You can see that all the way. It's been for well over a week now. Yesterday was strong, resistance all the way up here to $66.30 in the late US session. It did give up a lot of those gains to come and close at $64.87, but picked up today from yesterday's close on the front foot. Buyers demand for oil at this point from 64.81, now sitting at 65.58. Buyers will be looking to retest this resistance at 66.41. We'll see if that can be maintained once the US session gets underway. And then Bitcoin, after the strong run last week, going all the way up above the 100,000 mark, all the way up to 105,000. But yesterday, this wide range, 105,000, 105.8 thousand on the top side, support at 100,000, 100.7, and then ended up somewhere in the middle here. Trend still up, and buyers have stepped in today from the close at just below 103,000, already sitting at 103,800. Buyers will be looking to come up to the 104, 105,000, perhaps higher. Sellers, of course, will be looking down to this $100,000 mark and to try to get lower than that. I feel the bias is up, the trend is up, but sentiment certainly still favorable towards Bitcoin at this point. Keep that discipline, and I will see you at the end of the session.